2, 1.
Hey guys, welcome back to SSL Rewatchables episode 4. For you guys that tuned in about 20 minutes ago, this is not, you're not seeing things. It's not deja vu. We had to restart because of, must have been the internet or something, some technical difficulties because of the rain. So yeah, and I guess it seems like no one could hear us. So we're going to try this again. So thanks for bearing with us. Thank you, Patrick, for hanging out as well.
No problem.
And we're going to get it started again. All right.
All right, let's do it.
All right, cool. So again, thanks everyone for tuning in. This is Rewatchables. This is episode 4. What we're doing is basically going back, filling in some time because we're all stuck at home right now. We all want basketball. We're all hungry to watch something. So we're going back for all of us that are SSL fans or have friends that play or, just like basketball. We're looking back at some old games. Yep. So today we have an old one from season 8. KL Twin Towers versus UFour, and we have 2 representatives from that. One is my always co-host Isaac Go from UFour. Say hello, Isaac.
What's up, guys? Don't remember this game.
We'll find out why. And we also have from the KL Twin Towers, former All-Star MVP or Veterans MVP anyway, Mr. Patrick Wakabayashi. Thanks again.
All right.
Patrick.
Hi guys. Hi everybody. Thank you for inviting me for this fun, rewatchable episode.
We gotta keep saying somehow, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So we talked about it earlier. Basically, the theme for this episode that we're talking about is called The Last Dance, and named after the docu-series that just launched yesterday about Michael Jordan and the Bulls' last dance, their last championship run in 97, 98. And, this is kind of our tip of the cap to that because this is the last dance for a couple of things. One, Rio Kato for you guys in the KL Twin Towers. And then also the last time we see UFour in SSL, Isaac's UFour, and he is heartbroken about it.
Yeah, you guys gave us a long hiatus, man.
Putting them into retirement. We'll touch on UFour a bit later, but let me set the table real quick about this game, the context of what was going on. UFour versus Twin Towers, last regular season game. If you guys can see already, the game is playing. This is back when we were at Dwi Emas in Shalam, a cozy little court. It was new at the time. It was pretty nice. It's just I just don't know accessibility wise how that worked for people. But for SSL, this is one of the first seasons we did one division. There were 20 teams. And as I mentioned before, it's the last season for you guys. He only played 2 seasons, but we'll talk about his impact for you guys and also on the league. Again, the last dance for UFour as well. Rio season high 24 points, very unorthodox player. But Twin Towers with one of the best rosters you guys have ever had. So what do you remember about this game or this season, Patrick?
I do remember that this season was the tough season for us because we didn't divide it into 2 divisions because previously there was a gold, there was black, but this season was everything is mixed up. So we have to really compete with the teams that totally in a different level because I do remember we had a game with. Is that Kriegers or Rhinos?
Yes,
I think it was
the Kriegers.
It was when the Rhinos and Kriegers mixed, I think. And
And I think we had, that was our early games during that season, if I recall it correctly. So I totally do remember that we really need to to do our best to compete with this strong guys because there's no any level separation based on the division. So I do remember that, and also I do remember this season 8. This season is because this is the last season of Rio, who were our star player for 2 seasons, and he was our point getter during this 2 seasons. So I really remember. And also this game because this was, I think, the game that if we won we could proceed on the playoff. Is that correct?
The wall card, and then the
Oh
playoff.
yeah, the wild card, yeah, and the
Yeah.
playoffs. So yeah, that's why I do remember this game pretty much.
Yeah, and when we were talking earlier about how you were saying most of the games for this season you guys didn't have your full roster. You were playing undermanned a lot of times,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yet you guys had a pretty stacked team comparatively for your roster. You had both Kazuki's, you had
yeah.
Hiromasa, you had yourself. You know,
Mhm.
I think really one of the maybe the best KL Twin Towers lineup. You think? Or some of the later
Yeah,
iterations is better. What do you think?
yeah. I will say this will be the best roster so far that we had. If we add in Kenta, that will be additional, but but yeah, Kenta, Iggy, because you have Kenta Iggy this
That'd be
season,
good. Yeah,
so that will
yeah.
be that will be a different game, different story. But yeah, I think
And a
so far
little
this was
and a
like
little crazy Shota, of course,
yeah,
right?
a
A
little
little
crazy
crazy
Shota, of
Shota.
course. Yeah, so if you have that energy and you combine this roster, I think that will be very, very powerful and fun to watch. But I think yeah, so far I do agree that this is the best roster that we have so far.
And like you said, with the divisions merging, it was a bit tougher. But I think if this same team played in our current season, SSL 12, you guys would be top 2, top 3. I think. You guys would definitely be in the top 4
maybe
for sure.
yeah, maybe yes,
Just with the
yeah,
speed and everything, and
yeah,
that no one be able to keep up with you guys.
yeah.
So I'm gonna put up or ask Dre to put up our first discussion point here. You've already talked a little bit about KL Twin Towers in terms of your different versions of KL Twin Towers over the seasons, but you guys also play in tournaments outside of SSL. You guys play in the region. And Isaac, you've played in other tournaments as well, where you see these guys, and you're quite familiar with these guys as well. So I want to talk about, like, is KL Twin Towers the best foreign team in Malaysia when you talk about teams that are entering consistently into other tournaments, or even just other friendlies and stuff? Isaac, what do you think of these guys in context of other tournaments in Malaysia?
They are the best in like most majority of the cases. I think they are the best in mentality, mindset, preparation before going into the game. So I mean, like to explain furthermore on that, right? KL Team Towers has always been known for not having like a big ball lineup. They're lacking in size. A lot of mismatches for the other team. But the thing is, they know that uh, they will always have games like that. Like they'll always be undersized and stuff like that. But that didn't stop them from being a competitor on the court. They always keep their mentality together, their composure together. Yeah, and I think they have trained so hard, to get this chemistry, to build up this bond together. And as you can see from season 8, maybe in their earliest season up to now, up to this season that we're talking about, they managed to go that far, and they fought for it. It's not like oh, okay, there are certain seasons where the teams proceed to playoffs by default, and stuff like that. But the thing is, this season they actually fought for that spot and they proceeded further, and it's all because they didn't give up. They have that mentality,
Yeah,
the
on that,
discipline and
Isaac,
stuff like that.
let me read from our power rankings from that season. We did power rankings every week, and this is at the end of the regular season. Twin Towers finished number 11, and this is what we wrote about. We said that SSL8's version of the KL Twin Towers was more of what we see from them season in, season out. Heart, hustle, and perseverance, which is what you're talking about, Isaac.
Yeah.
And boy, did it pay off this time. They earned their final power ranking by facing a grueling schedule, taking on XUM, Man at Arms, and JR Kriegers, as you mentioned, Patrick, in the first 3 weeks alone. So tough, schedule. They would not have been blamed for being dead in the water, but in typical fashion, they stuck to the game plan, fought hard in every game, and finished the season on a winning streak and snuck into the playoffs. Rio Kato had an outstanding season, leading the team in points and assists. And though the two Kazukis, Kawata and Karasawa, saw a drop in production, newcomer Hiromasa Suzuki helped to pick up the slack. This tenacious team may seem outsized and unassuming, but any team facing them in the playoffs better be ready for a relentless battle. So what do you think, Patrick? Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, I would say it's pretty accurate because I think since I joined this team, I think the mentality and the mindset and the culture itself is like, whoever the roster is, because our team members are mainly Japanese expats, so the rosters will change, but the mentality, the core is what you play with heart and hustle. That's it. Well, whoever you play with, and whoever you play against with. So yeah, the core was the same, but I would say that this season roster was like just the best roster so far, and I think because it was well balanced because of the members that we have during this season, and I think the role was pretty clear for everybody. Even though we are lacking of size and numbers, so I think that's one of the key why we're able to to go so far. And I think those chemistry and synergy just came
For sure.
very, very effective and very well.
Yeah, you can see in the game right now it's 12-2 already right off the bat.
Yeah.
Like whenever you see that the blue and yellow, you're gonna be like running nonstop. I
Absolutely.
think you played them a bunch.
Absolutely.
So, like it's gonna be tough to keep up with you guys, in any game. And
Actually,
sorry, go ahead, Isaac.
yeah, actually, and to be honest, right, back then, season 8, Kazuki Kawata and Suzuki were not even as developed as they are right now.
They're right
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Right, like I mean, like during this season, Kazuki is not the leader that he is right now because there's still Karasawa who has better experience. There's still
And sorry, Isaac,
Shiro Kato and stuff like
if
that.
if I can ask, just based off that what you brought up, how was that? Because Karasawa was basically your MVP for like 3 seasons, right? Was there like a power struggle, or like how did that work?
I wouldn't say a power struggle because they did not show that at all. It's merely like, okay, Kazuki, it's probably his first 2 seasons coming into season 8, right? So he's picking up stuff, he's learning how the league works and stuff like that, and then getting more advice from his brother. And then once Karasawa has gone back to the Japan, okay, then it's time for Kazuki Kawata to take over. Things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Han froze, but
I think we
you
lost
can
Han.
see his screen. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. I mean, I think there was also Kazuki's second season coming into SSL
I
season 8.
think season 8 was his
Yeah.
second or maybe third, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
But I know that time he was still new in the season, just trying to get a little bit of adjusting and stuff like that, right? He's definitely better, and so as Suzuki, he's definitely developed after season 8 onwards, like the season 10, season 11, and even now.
Yeah, I think after Ryogun, I think I think the Kawata and Suzuki are the guys who really step up a lot when it comes to scoring. So I think that was the biggest improvement after the season 8 that you could see with the KL Twin Towers. But yeah, and I think this season was the
best season, or the best version of KL Twin Towers.
Maybe I would say it's when it comes to play and the system that we had during that time. I think this was the best version that we could have, because because this team was really fast. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, Han is back.
I'm back. Sorry, guys. We are not winning the tech battle today. Hopefully the stream is still okay. Dre, let us know if we need to take a pause or anything here, and hopefully you guys that are watching is not too cumbersome. Bear with us here. What did I miss, Isaac?
No, we were just talking about how Kazuki Kawata and Suzuki was back in season 8 and how developed they are up to now. just the differences and how the improvement has impacted the KL Twin Towers team.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So let's move on to the next topic that we have, Patrick. We have one more. Again, the theme here is the Last Dance, and it's I think second season for Rio, but also his last one.
Yeah.
Again, having him on the team really changed what the Twin Towers were like you said, being a point getter and stuff. So Isaac is going to actually walk us through a couple plays that he has here that we think is pretty cool, and then we're going to talk about where do we think Rio stacks as far as all time on the KL Twin Towers all-time list and also SSL all-time list. So Isaac?
Got it.
Yeah, I think personally for me, I think Rio Kato as a player, he has this very unpredictable, very unorthodox style of playing method, right? I mean, it's not really like those kind of moves that you see during training. Training is very like technical stuff. If you learn this kind of thing, and then it's all the same. It's the same goes to for everybody, right? So I'm not sure where.
Basically.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure like what kind of training he went on to. I need some of that, man. I need some of that unpredictableness.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Dre, if you can help me go to minute 24 to 24 minutes 27 seconds. So Rio Kato as well, right? I mean, I think he does not only has the ability to get scores, but he has the court awareness vision.
Yeah.
He's not a selfish player at all. He only takes points when he needs to or when he feels like he can take it, right? He's not forcing things, stuff like that. As you can see, he brings up this ball here and saw that pass right there. It was between two UFour players, and he managed to thread that needle, man. I mean, if I was there, I would have stolen that pass, but unfortunately, not there. But he managed to, he managed to I don't know how he managed to do it, but it's like super speed pass, right? That not everybody can have done it, and the ability to trust his teammate to be able to receive that kind of ball, it's just impressive.
Yeah, totally agree.
And also his not only that, ability to pass, ability to get the score, to get the buckets, and also sometimes the ability to shoot the ball. So when he shoots the ball, it's definitely a 50-50, right? Because it's like the way he shoots the ball, he fades to the side a little bit, face behind.
In SSL, 50% is pretty good shooting.
Yeah,
so
I definitely.
50.
Yeah. But always, if you see from outside or from the bench, right, whenever he shoots the ball, it's like, oh no, the angle's like not right. He didn't.
Isaac, I completely agree with you, but you are not the person to talk about this. That's exactly how we feel when you shoot the ball. It goes in, but you're like, how the hell did that go in?
And one thing that, if you notice, why Kato is unpredictable with his moves is when you observe it very carefully, when he take the jump shot, you could normally, if you take the jump shot, if you're a right-hander, your right leg or right foot will be on will be on the same. But on Kato's, if he shoot, his leg will be different. It will be sometimes right, it will be sometimes left.
Yes.
So that's why when you guard him, you cannot predict if he's going to drive or he's going to take a jump shot on you. So just try to observe that kind of
just on cue. I think we just saw that, right? Is that the clip that you were going to play, Isaac, at 26?
Yes.
26:40.
Oh,
I
okay.
remember winding that, Dre. I mean, the timing was great, Patrick. Like right when you talked about it. We'll take a look at it again. I think it's 26:40, right?
Yep.
Want to walk us through it, Isaac?
Yeah. So this is KL Twin Towers setting up the play, the double team. So he's not even in shooting position, right? Shooting stand, and then he just takes the tree and then pop. Nothing but the net. You see what I mean by unorthodox? It's like he was actually looking to pass, that's for sure,
Yeah,
but he
yeah.
doesn't see any option and stuff like that. And then obviously the UFour defender was caught off guard, and then he just takes that shot just like that.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
for KL Twin Towers, you guys have had longer tenured players. You've got guys that are have accumulated more points, and all that. But where would you say, Patrick? Where does Rio stack in the all-time Twin Towers list? Is he number 1, number 3, number 5?
Oh, wow, that's pretty tough
You didn't even
question.
think
But
about it, did you? See, like, this is the stuff we're thinking about. We're thinking about your
yeah,
team. You should have this. You should already know this.
yeah, that's a pretty tough question. But yeah, I would say overall, wow, that's a good question.
I mean, just based on his abilities and skills, just what.
Yeah,
Okay. Patrick, I can
Yeah.
actually help you with that, like how to
Sure.
rate him, right?
Sure.
Dre, if you can help me to move to 30 minutes and 40 seconds, I can help you with that, Patrick. I can definitely help you with that.
Okay, sure.
30 minutes and 40 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, I can definitely help you with that.
Well, what are we watching? I don't know. I haven't seen this.
All right.
It's a James Harden-ish move. Okay, just
Okay.
take a look at this video. He's bringing up the ball. His pass.
Okay.
It's out of bounds.
Okay. All right.
Is he on the court? Okay, there I see.
It's
Is
on
this
the
right
ball.
one?
Okay. Yeah. The number 0.
Yeah, I think just let it. I think I meant.
Yeah, he liked this
Yeah. Look
move.
at that. Look at
He liked
that.
this move. Yeah.
He did
I love the air
that.
ball though.
No, he did that 3 times, and
Yeah.
just taking his time, like, Dre, can you just repeat that motion? Just go back slightly back.
Okay.
But that was an air ball, right? Did I miss it?
Yeah, it's an air ball.
It was
Okay.
an air ball, yeah.
Look at that. Okay, gets the ball, dribbles. 1, 2, 3, and boop.
So wait,
Yeah.
so that you're saying that's an example that makes him a good player or a bad player?
Unorthodox, man. Unorthodox.
Yeah, it's just very unpredictable. But for me personally, I'm not sure if the other KL Twin Tower members will agree. But for me, overall, I think during until now, since I joined the KL Twin Towers, I think for me personally, he'll be the number 1 KL Twin Tower player so far. There's a lot of good players. So we have Karasawa, we have Kawata, we have Suzuki. But overall, I would say, I think he's the best so far overall.
Yeah, and maybe even more now. You guys have to put Iggy in the mix as well.
Oh yeah, Iggy, Kenta, but still, I will go with Kato. Yep.
Yeah. He's got that size as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So thanks, Patrick. You can stick around. We're gonna keep watching the rest of this. Again, thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much also for inviting me. This is a very fun session. Yep.
Yeah, so we have to slot you in first because we're gonna have.
All right, sure.
We're gonna have Moo afterwards, but I actually wanted you around for the second half because we can talk about you winning.
Okay.
But this is good because now UFour has to talk about how they choked at the end.
Okay, got it.
Choke is the right word.
Okay, we're gonna see if we can get Moo here. Meanwhile, Dre, how are we doing on the stream here? Do we have any issues?
Everything looks good. No one's complained about anything, so I think we're good.
Great. And we're gonna have Moo joining us here in just a second. Any questions? I'm having trouble pulling up Facebook on my computer. So do we have anything on Facebook that we want to talk about?
Just a comment from Ming Ming.
Okay.
So I think this goes to for Patrick. What team were you with before the KL Twin Towers? And how long have you been in KL?
Oh, okay. So which team? I think only KL Twin Towers. So when it's already my fifth year. That will be my I came here, I think, when was that? 2015 October. So I joined KL Twin Towers when I figured out that there's a Japanese basketball community. So I joined after a year, and then I think I started to join SSL because I think they were joining before I joined already. So I think my first SSL season was, if I'm not mistaken, season 5 or season 6. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Ming, for that question. And we have
thank you
with
so
us.
much.
Thanks, Patrick. We have with us now from the dark side, Mr. Mu Wun Ho. Did I pronounce that right? I've never said your full name before.
Yep.
Said it perfectly.
All right, great. Welcome, man. How are you? How are you doing?
Good to see you.
Guys, thanks for having me here.
Are you wearing the cap because same reason I am, because your hair is out of control, or is that the MCO haircut, MCO protocol?
Yeah. My hair's a mess right now, so.
Well, thanks for joining us. So we're now in the second half of actually, Dre, looking forward to the second half. 1 hour and 4 minutes. Just for everyone that's joining us, if you don't know, Mu was the captain of this UFour team. Led them in scoring. We also looked it up. I don't know if Isaac's told you this, that you are, even though you only played 30 games, Mu, you're 14th all-time in total points scored in SSL.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, playing only 30 games. So to give you...
But there's a catch.
Well, what's the catch?
There's a catch? All right.
No, Han, there's a catch, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know what the catch is. What's the catch?
Okay. The catch is...
The bit about you?
No. One more Moose stat.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll get to that. But just in context, so 14th all-time in scoring, playing 30 games. So to give you a relative number to that, Isaac is in 13th place, but he's played 20 more games, and he's only scored, I think, 30 more points than you. So good efficiency by Mr. Mu here. The other thing Isaac's alluding to, what? Sorry, is the sound okay, Dre, for Mu? I couldn't catch him.
Hello, Mu.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I can hear you now.
All right.
Yeah, I was saying efficiency was like good this game.
Well, yeah, we'll get into that. But the other thing Isaac, I think, wanted to bring up was you're also in 18th overall place for turnovers. So even though you've only played 30 games, you're up there for that as well. So. But don't worry, I've played second most games, and I'm number 2 on turnovers overall. So you won't catch up to me. Don't worry. But let's talk about this game again. We've talked about the context of the game, how UFour was doing. I'm going to start with you the same way we did just now. I'm going to read to you what we wrote about UFour at the end of the regular season for the power ranking. So you guys were ranked number 14 overall. I think a couple seasons before that, you guys made the Black Division finals. But here's what we wrote. We said, "Oof, what a rough finish for UFour. Who saw what most assumed to be a confirmed ticket into the playoffs vanquished in the final game of the season," which is what we're watching. Going into their 4th season, the team roster looked as good as it's ever been, and Mu Wun Ho had the game plan ready to roll. Their pressure defense gave other teams headaches, and for the first couple weeks, they looked like legit contenders. After that hot start, they were unable to catch a break and ended on a 3-game losing streak. It was a breakout season for Isaac Go, and the rest of the roster all contributed. UFour is a team that won't shy away from the challenge of redemption next season, but in terms of results, this one will quickly become one to forget. So before I get your input on that, number one, remember, we don't ever see you guys again, so there was no redemption. Number 2, Isaac did have a great season, but in this game, the second fiddle here that did really well was Andy. So what do you remember about the season? What do you remember about this game? Boom.
Yeah, this season was we started out great this season. 2 wins in a row. We played really well against not that great of teams, but we put on a good showing the first 2 games, and then we had to go against XUM. I think Dwayne broke his hand, fractured his hand that game.
Yeah.
Damn.
That really cost us for the rest of the games. This one as well, because Dwayne wasn't there, and then Isaac was on holiday. Where were you?
Isaac?
Yeah, I can clarify that. So I booked that ticket 1 year ago. Okay, come on. Can't blame me, man.
Yeah, so definitely disappointing not to make the playoffs. Wanted to play at Maba, couldn't get there, and just didn't really put enough effort into this final game to get the job done.
We'll talk about a little bit about UFour through the years. So this is season 8. I think you guys joined in season 5. What was the peak, and then where did this season kind of stack up as far as how good the roster was versus other seasons and that sort of thing?
Right. I think it was our second season in which we reached the finals for the Black Division, and then again another disappointing loss.
Close finish. Johan just beat you guys, right?
Yeah, we should have won that game, I believe. Like, it was also another disappointing one. But the seasons before that and the one after, we still managed to make the playoffs, and did play pretty well. But this one doesn't stack up so well because, as you can see, we didn't make the playoffs, and the roster was good. We had players in all sizes, all positions. Unfortunately, Dwayne had to go out. Zach didn't make it. We had a few rookies coming in that showed promise, showed good play in the beginning, but when they were being pressured by Twin Towers, I mean, they really put us up the task.
What was it as far as contextually in the UFour history, let's say? Because again, I remember you guys had a lot of fans early on at IGB, a lot of good momentum. You know, a lot of people hadn't seen you guys play, and definitely not play together as well. Was this like a Bulls 97, 98 last dance kind of situation? Like, or did it just fizzle out at the end? Like, what happened that after this loss, you guys never came back?
No, I mean, we were definitely planning to go on next seasons and a couple of seasons after that. Unfortunately, like we mentioned before, Dwayne went out with a hand fracture, and I went out with an ACL tear. Like, I think a couple months after that. Justin also went out with an ACL tear, maybe 2 to 3 weeks after mine, and then just from there everything went downhill, and we've been setting up for a comeback, but it might take some time before we get back to SSL.
Yeah, and we should mention too that season. I'm not too sure. Right after, or right before, you got signed to the Dragons D League team as well, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yep.
Right.
And that's unfortunate for me.
Yeah, that's tough. Isaac, what do you remember specifically about this game, or what do you want to kind of remember about it? And before I forget, we have to do another rewatchables of the game against Johan as well, just so that you guys.
Oh yeah.
Or is that too mean? Okay, we won't do that.
Let's just invite the whole UFour while we're at it. Everybody can watch back. But yeah, I was actually looking at a game when I was away. I didn't really watch the full game, but now looking at it from the first half, I want to say specifically, we started off really slow. I think that's how it usually happens for UFour, to be honest. We always started off slow, but I think our strength is when we manage to identify situations or what kind of team our opponent is, right? We managed to figure out a comeback in the end, actually. Yeah, and we managed to outpace them, with better defense, better offense, and stuff like that. And then going into the second half of this game, we managed to come back. Actually, we managed to take the lead back at one point, but still, I think unfortunately, KL Twin Towers being the very relentless team, as we all know, they never give up on defense. They kind of messed up our last play, and then it transitioned to a open layup.
Yeah, we'll go into that last play, but again, yeah, you guys should give yourselves credit. There was a big lead in the first quarter that you guys came back from. Moo, talk a little bit about Andy in this game. I don't know if you've had a chance to watch it or if you remember, because again, Isaac was out, Dwayne's out, and Andy ended up with 13 points in the game.
Right. He did well that game, shooting threes and hitting big shots and big moments. Unfortunately, the one that I passed to him, he didn't make many of my assists. So he hit big shots throughout the stretch of the game, and that put us in good position to come back and actually take the lead. Unfortunately, his defense, he was on Real most of the time, so he wasn't there that game to really help us out. And
actually, that's a good point. Like, Real obviously went off. Maybe like going back, would you have switched off on him? Would get someone else to guard him?
Actually, towards the end, I think I switched on to Real, and I think that's where we got stops after that. But that wasn't enough to prevent what was going to come.
Yeah, we just saw Andy hit a three in the corner there. So Isaac alluded to it earlier. We're going to actually go through sort of the very last minute of this game. Dre, if you don't mind, if we can jump over to 1:23:36. Basically, at this point, you guys, UFour, there's about a minute left, and you guys are up 2, and Twin Towers goes to the line to tie it. And we're going to watch that real quick. I think this is the second free throw. He's actually, let me see if this is right. Yeah, who's at the line there, Patrick?
Let me check number.
Suzuki.
Yeah, it's Hiromasa. Yeah.
Hey,
Suzuki.
So down 2. I think this is the second one. He misses both, but I think this is a critical play here because it goes out of bounds. Still ends up being Twin Towers ball, and this we're talking about. Relentlessness and kind of that perseverance. I mean, every play looks the same for Twin Towers, but it ends up in Rio's hands, and you almost get the steal here, but Rio ends up drawing the foul and basically hits 2 free throws to tie it, which I think is important to note here because it ends up tying the game. And then if we forward over a couple minutes now, or a couple real minutes, and it's at about 30 seconds to 1:26:10. Kawata gets a chance and UFour gets a stop. So we're going to watch that real quick at 1:26:10. So again, now the game is tied after 2 missed free throws. It's an inbounds after, I think, UFour, I think you guys missed a shot and they called timeout. Again, good defense here. And Kawata tries to make something happen. You guys get a stop, move with rebound, and it's a timeout. So this takes us into the sort of final possession of the game at 1:28:39, and we can just hold it there. You guys call a timeout. Moo, what do you remember of the last play going into it? Did you guys have something set up, and then what went wrong?
Yeah, if I recall correctly, I think there was still maybe 10 or so seconds left on the clock. Maybe 15.
I think it was 15, yeah.
Around there.
Yeah.
So the game plan was to just get me the ball and I would just run out the clock and take the last shot, get a game winner. But they came out and surprised me with a double team early, right after I got the ball. So I had to give it up. And then unfortunately, I gave out to our rookie, and he didn't make a really good play passing it to. He threw a bad pass to Andy, and Andy couldn't really catch it, and that's where Rio got the turnover and stole the ball and hit the game-winning layup.
Yeah, and Patrick, you're off screen right now, but you're still online. If you just want to talk, did you guys know right away you were going to go double Mu, or was that a decision that Kazuki made on the fly? Do you remember that at the end?
Actually, to be honest, I don't remember what we discussed during that timeout, but I think, yeah, I think our coach, mentioned to do that, or to do that double team, because it's pretty obvious that Moon was the guy who's always get up points for UFour. So he's the guy who we need to stop. So I think there was that discussion, but I'm not sure because to be honest, I don't recall it correctly.
Okay, yeah. Let's watch it. Everyone's getting back out here, and the breakdown that's exactly what happens. I think it is a great call, whether or not it was decided beforehand or not. But defensively, this was the right move. As we see, good job getting the ball here. First of all, that's a tough inbounds, and then Karasawa, both Kazuki's double team.
Yep.
Yeah. And then that doesn't even go out of bounds, and it's a pretty tough pass, and that we don't see. But Rio again comes through in the clutch here, and with a left-handed layup to win it. I think it ends up being like 1 second left, and right after that, it's kind of there's not really a good shot move. I think you chuck something up, but there's not a good chance at it. But a huge clutch play there, a big stop. I think very telling for how the Twin Towers played. What do you think about that last play, Isaac? I know you weren't there. What would you have done?
I mean, already knowing that why does Mu give up that ball is because his injury, right, affects him a little bit. So he doesn't have that explosive like how he has before having this injury and stuff like that. So I understand why he doesn't have a choice to go all the way and give up that ball instead. But I think there should be a how do I put this? But I think there should be a better plan opportunity for Mo to get the ball instead of like a direct inbounds, and then you try to figure out something along the way. So I think it's just a little bit too late. Like Mo, like you said, there's only like 15 seconds left and stuff like that, and we all know that it's the last play. Something's gonna happen. Something KL Twin Towers is gonna pull something up their sleeves and stuff like that. Yeah. Knowing that you're the only one, I mean, you're the backbone of the team, should have went for the flop and do a 3 point.
That's the play. That's the strategy.
A 3 point flop, like Kyle Lowry kind of stuff, things like that. But I mean, unfortunately, of course, huge credits to KL Twin Towers for suddenly bringing up that good defense. I think the double team was pretty pretty impromptu, but it's their basketball senses, right? It's the experience, it's the mentality that they have, and like, oh shit, it's the last possession, I better double team this guy, and cut down the time, stuff like
similarly,
that.
I think on the other side for Mu, I think prepared or not, I mean, in that position, that's the basketball play to make. If you're double teamed, especially at that spot, you give up the ball and then hopefully get it back. There's enough time to get it back. But as you mentioned, it was more about that second pass being off and leading to the turnover.
Absolutely.
But if you're double teamed, someone's going to be open, move the ball. And then, for the scorers and the great players, it'll end up back in your hands, which, perfect example is Rio. Somehow the ball gets to him and somehow he gets the layup, right? So from a basketball strategy standpoint, I think it was the right thing. Yeah, Mu.
That if you look back before the development, I think Kazuki, he fell to the floor trying to get his feet.
Can we replay that, Dre?
Yeah.
128-39. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Mu.
But if you look at it,
39, Dre. 128-39.
And I had a chance to drive
To
right
try it,
after.
yep.
Yeah, but I didn't want to because there was still time on the clock, and I wanted to run it out to make sure that they did have a chance to come back after that.
Yeah, yeah, Kazuki, yep.
Then he fell to the floor. I looked at him. I'm like, should I go or should I not? I chose to wait.
So that double team was really the other Kazuki kind of hedging to help first and then sort of staying there. Very interesting. All right, cool. That pretty much wraps it up, guys. Any final thoughts, Moo? Again, thanks for joining us here. Sorry it wasn't on a better game for you, but maybe we can do a UFour victory rewatchable at some point. Anything you want to add on this or anything else while you're bored in MCO that you want to reach out to people on?
Now, just to add to this game, Twin Towers did a good job defending us the whole game. And like I think you guys mentioned earlier, their hustle is on point every game. And if we had just 10% of the hustle they had, we would have just 10%.
Yeah, that's great. Patrick, again, yeah, your video is off right now, but we can still hear you. Any last thoughts from you?
Yeah, this game was fun because for us, I think before the past season we had a game with also before, I think, if I'm not mistaken, season 5 or season 6. Yeah, and that was the game that I do remember that really, we had a big loss with UFour. I think 30-40 point.
Yeah, it's
deficit,
about 30 points.
Yeah, it was just really, really hard for us to stop them during that time. So for so for us it was great to to have a game with familiar faces. I'll not say revenge, but yeah, it was fun game as well. So we do know that both teams were, if we won, we could go to the how to say, not playoff, but we could exceed forward. But yeah, playing with familiar faces was fun, and it was really our pleasure to have this tournament, especially for foreigners like us. So again, thank you for the UFour team and again the SSL organization for making this league so fun.
Awesome.
For the foreigners like us as well.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Great. Thanks, Patrick, and thanks, Moo, as well. Thanks, both you guys for always the support and awesome games for us to watch. Stay safe, everyone watching. Please subscribe if you haven't yet, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you.
All right, see you guys.
See you guys. Stay safe. Stay home.
Wash your hands.